Hi friends, my name is Borrodante, and this is my sexy voice version. This happened not because something changed to me, but just because I'm not filming myself with a camera, so I could shove this microphone down my throat in order to get the deepest voice possible. Now, as you can see, I'm doing a study of this statue. And I really wanted to do this without commenting on it during the process, because that's what study is about. I was learning myself, and I needed to have the full concentration on the process in order to get the most productive experience out of it. So I really wanted to make this commentary right now to make sure that I send the message to everybody who's an artist that this is something that you, yourself, should be doing a lot, you lazy son of a bitch. This should be your daily routine in order to become better, to understand better how the lighting works, how the details should spread on the image, and how your strokes are supposed to work with the details. Also, this really makes a good continuation of the whole thing that I was talking about in the recent video about avoiding any silhouettes. As you can see, I'm working with my recently favorite super messy brushes, and I'm really just copying spots, trying to find proper proportions and everything, but really that wasn't my goal. And it shouldn't be yours. When you're doing a study, of course you should learn anatomy, but that will happen kind of like in the background. Your studies, they're not supposed to be like something restricted, something that has a certain goal, and if you don't make it happen, you fail. This should be a daily routine that you can stop at any moment, you can put it on hold, and continue today or the next day. This is what I did during this process, and during the next process that is also going to be in this video, there's going to be another statue that I was studying. I was making a lot of pauses, I was eating a sandwich, I was making a cup of coffee, I was going back and forth. Heck, I even went to bed and continued the next day. As you can see, I'm fixing a lot of proportions and everything, but really that was not my goal, to copy the photo perfectly. I was not trying to copy all the shapes. I was trying to take notes of certain ways certain body parts look at certain lighting environment and at certain angles, and just kind of like improve my library in my head of the way human body should look in different situations. And this is what is really important when you are doing a search that we discussed recently. The search is really working best when you have a certain amount of, kind of experience. But saying experience, I mean this exact library in your head. So that's really important. You kind of have to just know the way some things look like, and this is the way to work with it. So you would be able, you see, I erased this is actually the next day right now. I'm starting the second study. This is going to be a Greek warrior or some kind of politician. I don't know who that is, but he looks badass. So in this study, I really wanted to play with the color, since the previous one wasn't really all colorful. In this one, I wanted to play with reflected light and everything that has anything to do with it. So this is answering many questions that people ask me, like how do you work with the reflected light? How do you work with shadows? How do you know where the shadow should work, like where the shadow should lay and where there shouldn't be any shadow? Well, you just learn that from reality. Just make a copy. Don't worry if you will fail in making it decent, because your goal is not to get a final image, to brag about the fact that you studied, Although that's always kinda nice. So if you have noticed, I have just fixed some proportions on the body with a weird brush that was like dragging and moving parts of the image around. This is a special brush that I created that day. I called it just the Move tool. And the point of it is this is a special case of the finger tool, the smudge tool in Photoshop. I used a perfectly hard circle, the default circle with hard edges, without any spacing, like turning off the spacing and turning off any other dependencies from the pen pressure whatsoever, and also increasing the strength up to 100%. This way, this brush turns into a tool that will move certain parts of the image without distorting it at all. You just grab a circle of pixels and you move it to another place, leaving a very specific trail behind your stroke. So this way is like the best way I could possibly imagine to fix some proportions on the early stage of the painting, and quite frankly even on any stage, if you follow the logic of the way I advised to work with the details lately, avoiding any silhouettes, any concrete details. As you can see right now, we zoomed in and there is absolutely horrible mess going on. All the spots of light are super separate. They're not blended together into one continuous line, continuous surface. It's just a mess that I can continue adding details to wherever I want. It doesn't matter. I just imagine that there should be a spot of light and I just add another spot anywhere I want. This is the kind of liberating advantages that I was talking about in the video about painting like a god. Doing studies is a really good way to practice that technique, to really understand how well it works when you can add details wherever you want. You can fix anything at any point, any proportions, you can really very roughly move them around. It really doesn't matter because you have no perfect details, perfect non-detailed blended surfaces. You don't even have that. It's just a whole mess of bristly spots. I really feel like this is a huge revolution in the way I paint lately, and I think it's gonna change a lot about my artwork. And I hope you guys will really appreciate it and follow this path as well, because as far as I know, as far as I've seen so many different artists, the ones that I really admire their technique, they all do it this way. All of their artwork appears from the mass of these segregated, very messy color spots, light spots. And then further on they detail them more and more and they become amazing masterpieces, because it's so easy. It's so easy to make things right when you are free to only think about the geometry, the three-dimensional object that is hiding behind the veil of the canvas, without thinking about making those new details follow the restrictions that you already created. This is super important. So make sure you give this technique a serious go, a serious try. This is it requires a huge change in perception, in understanding what you're doing. It feels really different in your head when you do it this way. It makes you think differently. Oh, as you can see right now, I fixed a bunch of anatomy issues, specifically with the head and the arm of our Greek, whoever you are. And that was super easy to do. I just used lasso and quickly scaled down these details. And that's it. I didn't even have to do anything else. And now I'm moving the shoulder with the new Move tool. Also, even better, like when you just have to move without scaling, Move tool is so good, because you're just selecting a brush with your hotkey and you just quickly move with one stroke and that's it. The thing is completely fixed. This is just magic. It works so well and it's liberating and makes you faster. Really good thing. I'll be sharing it later. Oh, I think the video is getting to the end. Yeah, how was it? I will see you in the next video. Yeah. Oh, why was I worrying? I can actually keep talking. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching and listening to my silent session. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.